Today, we're diving into something that is a massive deal for entrepreneurs all across Kenya, the Movable Property Security Rights Act. I know. It's a bit of a mouthful, but trust me, this 2017 law is a total game changer if you're looking for credit. So, let's break down how it all works.
All right, let's kick things off with a question that probably sounds really familiar to a lot of you. You've got this amazing business idea, right? Or maybe you're ready to expand. You go to get a loan, but then you hit that classic brick wall. The bank wants collateral, and specifically, they want land. What do you do if you don't have it?
Well, for the longest time, there wasn't a great answer to that question. It was a huge barrier. But then, in 2017, the entire script got flipped. A new law came along that completely reshaped the world of lending and borrowing in Kenya.
And that brings us right to our first section, Credit Beyond Land. We're going to unpack exactly what this act does, and more importantly, what it means for you and the new opportunities it opens up.
The real magic of this law is a simple but profound shift in thinking. The old way was super rigid. If you didn't have immovable property, land or a building, you were pretty much out of luck. But the new way, it recognizes that you have value in almost everything else you own, your so-called movable property. We're talking about a complete pivot from a land-based credit system to an asset-based one.
So what exactly counts as a movable asset? Well, this is the best part. The definition is incredibly broad. Seriously, we're talking about things like your company vehicles, your machinery, and if you're a farmer, your livestock, and even the crops in the field. It also includes the inventory sitting in your shop, the money in your bank account, and even your receivables. That's the money that other people owe you. Heck, it can even be intangible things like a trademark. The main takeaway here is you probably have a lot more collateral than you realize.
And check this out, it gets even better. The law covers what are called future assets. And yes, you heard that right. This means you can actually secure a loan against something you don't even own yet. Think about it. Next season's harvest, or the inventory you're planning to buy with the very loan you're taking out. It's an incredibly forward-thinking idea that's designed to fuel actual growth.
Okay, so you've looked around and you've identified an asset you could use. How do you actually, do it? How do you use it to get that loan? Well, that brings us to our next section, creating your security right. Let's walk through the practical, official steps. First things first, let's get the terminology down. It's pretty simple. In the language of the Act, if you're the borrower, you're called the grantor because you're granting a right over your asset. The lender, the bank, the microfinance institution, whoever, is the secured creditor. Their loan is now secured by your asset. See? Grantor, secured creditor. Easy enough. And that legal claim you're granting? That's called a security right. The best way to think of it is as the lender's safety net. It's their formal, legally recognized claim on your asset, and it stays in place until the loan is all paid off. This right here is the absolute heart of the agreement. Now, to make sure this is all official and above board, the Act lays out 4 really simple keys to a valid security agreement. Number 1, it has to be in writing, and you, the grantor, have to sign it. 2, it has to clearly identify you and the lender. 3, it must describe the loan itself, like the amount. And finally, number 4, it has to describe the asset you're using as collateral well enough that someone could reasonably figure out what it is. That's it. No crazy legal hoops to jump through, just these 4 clear points. All right, so having a signed agreement is the first big step. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's absolutely crucial for protecting everyone involved. This brings us to the public registry system. This is the engine that makes the whole process transparent and trustworthy. So let's imagine a scenario. Let's say a business owner uses the very same piece of machinery to get 2 different loans from 2 different banks. If that business unfortunately goes under, who gets first dibs on that machine? Who gets their money back first? It's a huge question, right?
Well, the law makes the answer beautifully simple. The first one to register their security right wins. That's it. It doesn't matter who signed the paperwork first or who handed over the cash first. The priority, the place in line, is determined purely by the date and time of registration.
So, what is this registry? The easiest way to picture it is as a giant, digital, nationwide notice board. When a lender registers their security right, they're basically pinning a notice up for the whole country to see, publicly announcing their claim. This means any other potential lender can do a quick search online and see if an asset already has a claim against it. It's all about transparency. And just a quick practical detail for you. A single registration is effective for up to a maximum of 10 years. After that, if the loan's still active, it just needs to be renewed. This just keeps the registry clean and up to date,
so it isn't clogged with thousands of old, paid-off claims.
Of course, in any loan agreement, we have to talk about what happens if things don't go as planned. So for our final section, let's look at enforcing the agreement. The law is very clear on this, and it's designed to be fair to both sides if a loan goes into default.
So what happens if the borrower, the grantor, misses a payment and defaults on their loan? Well, there's a clear process that kicks in, with very specific rights and responsibilities for everyone.
And this is where the law creates a really important balance. On the lender's side, yes, they have the right to take possession of the asset and eventually sell it to get their money back. But on the other side, the borrower has very clear protections. You must get a written notice first. You have the right to be told what the plan is for selling the asset. And this is huge. You have what's called the right to redeem, which means you can get the asset back at any point before it's sold by paying off the entire debt. It ensures there's a clear, structured process, not just a grab and go.
So, after all that, what's the big picture here? Let's go straight to the source. This quote from Section 3 of the Act itself says it all. The entire purpose is to enhance the ability of individuals and entities to access credit using movable assets. It's about empowerment. It's about finally recognizing the value in things that were always there, but were just ignored by the old system.
And that brings it all back to you. We've seen just how broad the definition of an asset really is now. So it leaves one final, and I think pretty exciting question. When you look around your business, your farm, your workshop, what asset do you own that could be the key to unlocking your next big idea? Thanks for joining me.